Okay, it looks like we are live. Can everybody hear me okay? Can everybody hear me? All right, good. I'm going to assume so. I'm assume we're good. Welcome back, Book Dragons, to another live stream with Chaz. And thanks so much for joining me. If you are joining me, I'm glad to have you here. I am doing the Knights Radiant quiz today, and this isn't just any Knights Radiant quiz. This is the official Knights Radiant quiz. And if you're not familiar with who the Knights Radiant are, they are the primary magic users in the Stormlight Archive, written by Brandon Sanderson. So highly recommend you check this book series out. You can find a link to take this quiz yourself in the description below. So I just thought this would be a fun little stream, give you guys a chance to get to know me a little better, and feel free to chat and hang out, and I'm excited to be here. So let's get right to it. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with all of you here so you can see all the fun stuff that I am about to do. And there we have it. And as you can see, it is the official Knights Radiant quiz on Brandon Sanderson's website. So here we go. I'm going to read the synopsis first. The fate of Roshar hangs in the balance, and once again, Radiant Spren seek to bond with humankind. The Knights Radiant must stand again. Move the sliders toward the attributes you most identify with, and the quiz will sort you into the order of Knights Radiant you would most likely belong to, along with the likelihoods of your belonging to the other orders. This quiz will only take a few minutes, and judging from it, it may take more than a few minutes. But hey, this is going to be fun, right? And it feels a little bit like the Sorting Hat from Harry Potter, except it's you're being sorted into the Knights Radiant orders. So yeah, here we go. So it has sliders on each one to determine which side of this you lean more towards. Kind of like your typical personality quiz, except for being geared toward the Knights Radiant. So for this first one, Heart on Sleeve versus Poker Face. This one really depends for me. I don't usually wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm pretty easygoing. Not much offends me. So, I might lean more towards 60% of a poker face. But if I'm reading a really sad, sappy book or watching a show that really gets me in the feels, I'm probably going to be crying, and you'll definitely see a different side of me there. So that is, so I'm going to lean probably more 60% poker face on that one. Confidence versus needing reassurance. I'm pretty confident. I'll say I'm a fairly confident person. Probably, I don't know. I'd probably say about 80% of the time I'm really confident, but there are times where I need some reassurance to make sure that I'm doing stuff that isn't putting people off, and I shouldn't care what people think, but I do sometimes, So I need reassurance that what I'm doing is making a difference, and so yeah, I'm probably about 80% on the confidence meter. And this next one, this is so me. I'm like, no, I'm not nearly that bad. I'm not overly cautious, but I am pretty cautious. I'd say maybe 75% cautious and about 25% daring. it did take me a lot to be willing to start my own YouTube channel. I'm not a huge risk taker, and that was a big step for me. Um, I've been getting more and more daring as my confidence has grown with doing things that are outside my comfort zone. So I'd say, well, maybe I'm 70% cautious. We'll put it that way. I have been getting more daring as years go by and as I get older and care less. So, yeah, so I'm definitely more cautious still, though. And a library versus a dojo. My guess is this is asking, would I prefer to be in a dojo or a library? I enjoyed being in a dojo when I took martial arts. It kind of got old for me and I just kind of stopped, but I enjoyed it. It was fun being around a group of people who are committed to bettering themselves and strength training and things like that. That was fun. But I'd say I'm definitely 90% of a library guy. If I had to choose between a library and a dojo 90% of the time, I would definitely choose the library. So that is yeah, that's me. Wolf pack versus lone wolf. Oh, that's a tough one. I am pretty much a lone wolf. I enjoy being with the wolf pack, but I'm more of an introvert than I am an extrovert. Uh, I always tell people I'm an ambivert, but I lean more on the side of introversion. So if I'm around the wolf pack too long, I'm going to be completely worn out and need to leave and go off by myself. And probably 80% of the time, I enjoy being alone by myself. But yeah, I do enjoy being with the wolf pack. And I've got my own wolf cubs too, right? So I don't have any choice there. They're always around. And I love that. I always want my kids around. So that's a big difference there. But on the whole, I'm more of a lone wolf. Peacemaker or firebrand? Oh yeah, I'm definitely a peacemaker. Probably 90%. I don't like people to hate each other. I don't like stirring up hate. I don't or dissension, things like that. I'm pretty much a peacemaker. There is a small part of me where I'll really stand my ground and say no, this is the way it is. I'm not budging on this, but it's rare for me. It's very situational, but it's very rare for me to be a firebrand. Spiritual versus skeptical. I'm definitely more on the skeptic side. I do enjoy conversations around spirituality. Um, I enjoy different philosophical traditions that have become spiritual, like Taoism and Buddhism and stuff like that. But I don't really celebrate the spiritual aspect of it. It's more the philosophies behind it. But on the whole, I'm very, very skeptical. I'd probably say 85% skeptic, 15% spiritual. Yeah, I get a lot out of some of those spiritual traditions, but I hold a very keen skeptic's mind. All right, leader versus facilitator. I'm definitely more of a facilitator. And this is a tough one because facilitators can make good leaders because they lead collaboratively. They lead via discussion and spurring on the conversation. So I think that really makes a good leader. But depending on what you think of as a leader, I'm probably not really a leader. I'm more of a facilitator. I put things out there and let the group decide what the best course of action is. Unless, back to firebrand, if there's something I'm really adamant about it's the wrong way to go or the right way to go, I'm going to stand my ground and say, hey, I'm leading on this. And if you don't like it, that's fine. You can disagree with me, and it doesn't bother me. So 70% facilitator, I think. Okay, guard dog versus alley cat. Hmm. Well, it depends. If by alley cat they mean more rebellious, uh, stick out, more street savvy. Um, I am kind of rebellious in some ways, but I'm not street savvy by any means. I would probably maybe lean more toward the guard dog, I guess. Yeah, maybe 65% guard dog and about 35% alley cat. There are times when I'm street savvy, so it really depends on the subject, on the situation. But I guess I would probably lean more toward guard dog. Yeah. And by the way, as we're going through these, feel free to if you've taken the quiz, make sure to tell me in the comments below what you ended up as. And if you're watching this video after the fact too, make sure to let me know. So I'd be curious to find out what order you are. Compassionate versus dispassionate. I'm definitely more on the compassionate side. Gosh, I don't know if I'm really dispassionate about anyone at all, really. With the exception of people that are just despicable human beings, they just treat everybody in a hateful way. I'm not. I don't feel sorry for them when they get what's coming to them. Honestly, especially when I'm reading a book, I'm like, oh well, yeah, you deserve that. There's characters in the Stormlight Archive that I really wish had gotten what they deserved, and so far they haven't. But on the whole, I'm a pretty compassionate person, and I tend to give a lot of leeway to people because I firmly believe people can change. So, and I'm guessing characters in the Stormlight Archive may change as time goes by. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and that's what I usually do with people. And in terms of compassion to people who are hurting and starving and their life is just devastated, that really gets me in the feels. I can really, I have a lot of compassion for them. So, okay, head versus heart. What rules me, my head or my heart? Gosh, this is a tough one. Like I said, I'm very compassionate, and I do make a lot of my decisions based upon what feels right to me. So I guess that's more of a heart thing. But I'm also pretty level-headed at times. I tend to really think and reason things out. I'm not super analytical, but I do analyze things at times. But ultimately, I usually go with my gut and what feels right in the moment. So I'm probably 70% on my heart, maybe 65. That's a tough one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 70 on that. I'm pretty close to much more heart ruled than head ruled, but I do think things through. So, flamboyant or reserved? I'm definitely more reserved, no doubt about it. Probably 75, 80, maybe even 82% reserved. I know I don't come across that way. You guys may be looking at this and you're thinking, what in the world are you talking about, Chaz? I come across different on video. I'm not really hindered by anything when it's just me, right? But if I'm in a crowd and I'm worried about fitting in and things like that, I tend to be a little bit more reserved and I was the wallflower at the school dances, things like that. I'm not really the flamboyant type. I can be at times, especially if I have a lot of energy, or if I'm really excited about something. I can be flamboyant, but not normally. It's not what I gravitate toward. Yeah. Letter of the law versus spirit of the law. Oh, I'm not a big rule breaker per se, although I do shirk rules that make no sense to me. I do tend to lean more toward the spirit of the law. What the author of the law intended by doing what they did versus actually following it letter by letter. So yeah, I'm more spirit of the law. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 75% on that one. I tend to go by the rule. If you're not hurting anybody, you're not killing anybody, things like that, I'm going to give a lot of leeway there. You do what's right for you. I'll do what's right for me. And, as long as you're not doing harm and, deliberately putting yourself in a situation where you're going to get arrested, things like that. Yeah, I'm pretty spirit of the law driven. Free-spirited versus disciplined. I'm probably actually this slider is pretty accurate. I'm kind of in between. I maybe lean more towards free-spirited. At least in my heart and mind, I'm more free-spirited. Being a father and having a job and things like that, you have to be more disciplined. So in life, I probably come across more disciplined, but in my head and heart, I'm really more free-spirited. Like I want to break free of the bounds and go explore and go have fun, and I'll always be a kid at heart. So I'm pretty free-spirited, but I do have to be somewhat disciplined. So I'm going to say 60-40 on that one. Now, this may change, though, as my kids are older and out of the house. I may embrace more of my free-spirited side and go exploring. I do want to do more traveling and stuff like that, so who knows? And I'm making a lot of assumptions as about what this is getting to, but spirit of the law, right? It seems that's like that's what it's intending. Obedient versus rebellious. Oh boy. This again is a head, heart versus reality thing. I have a lot of beliefs and personal life practices that are definitely more rebellious, maybe even bordering on anarchy, but not like extreme anarchy or anything like that. But I do, I don't break the law. I don't do any of that stuff. So I'm pretty obedient. So I guess it depends on the situation. But if I were to go by my head, I'm probably more rebellious. So I'm gonna go 65% rebellious versus obedient, because that's where my head and my heart really rest. But what I do in practice, well, I guess my practice would be more in my head. I know what I can't do because of society's rules, and so I am pretty obedient. I'll maybe go 60-40 on that one. Yeah, I'll do that. Creative versus conventional. I'm definitely more creative. I do a lot of art. I do my YouTube channel. I'm always thinking outside the box. I write books, and or at least I did write books. I haven't written in a while. So that is probably more where I lean toward. I do have some conventions, but I try to be as unconventional as possible. So I am definitely more creative. Dependable or flexible. Well, this is a tough one. Most of my friends would tell me, would tell you and me that I'm very dependable, but I tend to be pretty flexible too. And I think flexible is something to depend on as well. My friends know they can depend on me to be pretty flexible. Hey, Chaz, where are we going to dinner? Oh, I don't know. Here's a few ideas. Pick which one you like. I'm good. Whichever one you choose, or if you have something different in mind, let me hear it. Let's reason it out and see what we want to do. Same with movies. I'm pretty, So I guess it depends on the situation here again. But I am a very flexible person. But when it comes to schedules and things I plan to do with people, unless something major comes up, I'm not going to be canceling at the last minute. You can depend on me. So I guess I'll leave that right at the 50-50 mark, because I'm pretty much both. I do lean more flexible, but I'm pretty much half and half there. So, down to earth or head in the clouds? Well, I am down to earth. I can pretty much get along with everyone, or most everyone. So if that's what it means to be down to earth, but I take this more as more grounded, more based in reality. And I don't like reality. I prefer fantasy. So I would say probably I'm more head in the clouds, maybe 77, 78% head in the clouds. I live in reality and I do well in reality. I function in reality, but my head in reality is probably elsewhere. If I'm at work and I'm sitting on the phone taking calls, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking of, okay, when am I going to get to my to read my book next? When am I going to get to my next novel that I'm working on? What should I paint or draw next? So my head is definitely in the clouds. So, maybe not that bad. Maybe I'll go 70% there. Yeah. I definitely think outside the box, but I do color inside the lines sometimes. Again, it goes back to that obedient versus what was it here? Let's see, obedient versus rebellious. I'm definitely someone who thinks outside the box, but if I just don't want to waste my time going against the status quo, I probably color in the lines just because I don't want to waste my breath trying to go outside the lines. So, but I do think very heavily outside the box. I'm probably going to say 75% on that one. Yeah. Tense or relaxed? It depends. Some things do get me really tense, but overall, I would say I'm probably 85% relaxed. Not a whole lot phases me. I get nervous in certain situations. I do tense up when I'm watching a really tense action movie, or I'm getting into a tense part of a book where it's just like, oh man, is this character going to die or are they going to live? I can't take it anymore. Ah! But in certain situations in life that make me nervous and stuff like that, especially when it involves my kids, I can tense up, but For the most part, I'm pretty relaxed. Maybe I'll go 80% on that one. Yeah. So that will be that. Decisive versus indecisive. This is very situational for me. Again, it depends. I think I'm going to leave that one 50-50. Maybe I'm a little bit more decisive, maybe 55% decisive. See, I can't decide. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that at 55%. Because I definitely can be indecisive sometimes. But I don't know. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I gotta make a decision, right? I'm so indecisive. Okay, likes change or likes stability? Oh, goodness. This one really depends too. I probably like stability more than I like change. Change is necessary. It's a necessary evil in many ways. So I know that I need to change, but I do kind of tend to favor stability. But I'm open to change, and I try to be flexible. Yeah, this is a fun quiz. I'm really having a good time with it, and I'm learning a lot about myself. I hope everybody watching is learning a lot about me too. Yeah, thanks for watching. Planner versus spontaneous. I do like to have a good plan in place, even though I tend to be pretty flexible. I like to have at least a general plan in place. And then if things change, that's fine. But I'm not super spontaneous. I like to at least know what I'm doing. And then if plans change, it's fine. We make adjustments, right? But I do like to plan. Yeah, I'm going to leave that at 70% planning. That's definitely my thing. End justifies the means. Gosh, I don't know on this one. In some situations, again, yeah, I am very pragmatic. I do what I have to get by. I work at the job I work at, not because I necessarily like it. I don't really like it per se, but it pays the bills. And so the end justifies the means. So it really depends. I do lean more honorable. I do not, I don't really skirt the truth. If somebody is, gosh, yeah, this is a tough one because if somebody's really down and feeling horrible about themselves and saying I'm just a horrible person, I'm not going to say to them, yeah, you are a horrible person. I mean, who does that, right? I mean, you're going to try to encourage them and lift them up. Well, I guess there's some people out there that would do that, but yeah, so again, end justifies the means. I want them to be happy and feel better about themselves. A lot of times we're way too hard on ourselves, and I think everybody needs a pat on the back. So, and then working at my job, but I do tend to be pretty honorable. I don't seek to hurt people or get vengeance or things like that. So this is a tough one. I probably lean more 75% toward honorable actions, but there are times when I firmly believe that the end justifies the means. Playful versus serious. Oh, I'm definitely more playful. I do have serious moments, but they are few and far between. My dad joke game is good. I get many pleasant eye rolls from my kids, and yeah, so I'm definitely more playful. I enjoy play more times than I do actual really serious moments. There's a time to be serious and there's a time to play. And for me, I tend to think that most of the time is a time to play. So that's, yeah, that's just me. Tells the truth versus blends the truth. Oh, goodness. Yeah, this, again, it kind of goes back to the end, justifies the means versus honorable actions. I do tell the truth the majority of the time, though. But I try to tell the truth in a way that's not going to hurt anybody. Huh. Yeah. I firmly believe in telling the truth, but there are definitely times where that is not conducive to the situation. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at 85% on that one. If you think that's a bad thing, let me know in the comments. That's okay. I don't mind. As you can tell, I'm kind of iffy on that one, because I really do like telling the truth. I'm going to go 90% on that, I guess. But there's definitely a time when the truth is not helpful. Likes to take things apart versus if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I like to pick things apart in my head, but in reality, I usually leave it alone unless it's an easy fix. Yeah, I don't try to fix people. I don't try to fix situations usually, unless it's an easy fix. And I don't know. Yeah, there's just some things that are better left alone. Maybe I'll go, I don't know. Maybe I'll go 71% on that one. That's a tough one. Yeah, it depends on the situation. And that's what's interesting about this quiz and all personality quizzes in general. Most of them are very situational. Unless you're just a really high type A person, extremely methodical and detailed down to a point. I'm definitely not. I'm definitely a type B, and if there was a type C, I'm probably a type C. So I'm very, very laid back and very non-confrontational in most respects. So hotel versus camping. I don't like camping. I'm sorry. I mean, there's times I could do camping if I had amenities with my camping. I would be the guy that brings a lighter to the campfire. I just I'm not for roughing it, so I'll maybe go 10%. Yeah, I'll go 10% camping, but I definitely prefer a hotel. I don't mind like a rustic hotel, like with not a whole lot of amenities, but I do like a hotel. Fencing versus boxing, definitely fencing. I don't really care for boxing. I mean, like I said, I did martial arts at one point and that was fun, but I don't really consider that boxing per se. But as far as what I enjoy, I would probably lean 100% towards fencing. And you're all probably like, wow, that's pretty extreme. Didn't expect that from you, Chaz. I like swordplay, right? Artistic versus scientific. I'm going to go 70% on this. I definitely think science is extremely important and plays a big role in life, but I personally am not on the scientific side. I'm more on the artistic side. I'm actually going to go maybe 83% there. Yeah. Book smart versus street smart. I'm definitely book smart. Maybe not 100%. Because I do have some street smarts. I'm going to go 20% street smart, 80% book smart. The majority of my learning is from books, though. Yeah. Paladin versus rogue. Okay. All right. So call me stupid, but I'm gonna need to look this up because I have a pretty good idea of what it means, but let's see. Okay. Rogue is a dishonest or unprincipled man. Okay. I'm not really that. Although I mean I do go rogue with certain societal beliefs and things like that. But that's more just kind of rebellion than anything. Yeah, I don't think I'm a rogue. Let's see, paladin. A knight renowned for heroism and chivalry. Well, that doesn't really fit me at all either. But okay, I'm probably more a paladin than I am a rogue. I'm gonna go 75, 75% on that. Yeah. Yeah. I am not hardly competitive at all. I'm very casual. I can be competitive, but it's not typically me. I guess it depends on the situation again. Board games I can get competitive in. But I don't like sign up for competitions. Like I used to love playing Magic the Gathering, and I still do on occasion, but I never signed up for any of the tournaments and leagues and stuff like that. It's just not really my thing. Chess tournaments the same way. I don't really like getting involved in competitions, but I can be somewhat competitive. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go 85. Yeah, 85% casual probably. Transparency. I'm very, very transparent, especially with people close to me. Most people know all there is to know about me, and maybe some that they didn't want to know. But there are a few things that I definitely keep on the down low and keep very private about. So I'm going to go 90% transparent, I think. Let's see. Yeah, maybe 88%. Well, we'll do it that way. Yeah. All right, cool. So now is the time, the moment you've all been waiting for. And the whole reason for this podcast existing, or podcast, this isn't a podcast, this is a live stream. Okay, the whole reason for this live stream existing. And as I mentioned before, this is the official Knights Radiant quiz. So whatever answer I get, it is set in stone. I can't change it. This is who I am. Now, will I get powers? I don't know. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, let's see what I have to say. All right. Oh, I got Edge Dancer. Oh, that's funny. Someone on one of the Discords I'm in called it. And yeah, they said they were putting their money on Edge Dancer, and wow. Yeah. Looks like I am. So I am going to speak again the ancient oaths: life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination. Okay, where's my Stormlight? Where is it? Come on. I need it. I need it now. I am an edge dancer, after all. Does this mean I won't trip over myself anymore? I hope so, because I trip over myself all the time. So I'm going to read it here real quick. You are an edge dancer, which gives you access to the surges of abrasion and progression and regrowth. Abrasion allows you to make objects, including yourself, frictionless. Progression and regrowth allows you to heal organisms and alter their growth. Edge dancers are known as being caring and graceful. Among the Knights Radiant, they see it as their duty to care for the common people and are often less interested in war than they are about trying to improve the daily lives of the common folk. Often, a mid-sized town would have an edge dancer or two on permanent assignment where they use regrowth to provide healing and would work for the common good of the town. Edge dancers tend to be among the more religious of Radiants. Yeah, well, that's not me. But and is the order where you're most likely to find former religious leaders who end up bonding a spren. Well, okay, maybe. Yeah, okay. During war times, they often act as the mobile medics, eschewing actual combat to heal or pull out the wounded or those trapped in terrible situations. Okay. However, there are some renowned for their graceful and skilled prowess in combat, occasionally used as scouts or special forces troops in conjunction with a team of windrunners or skybreakers. One should never assume the edge dancers are in any way base just because they often ignore high society. There you go. Yeah, don't ignore me, people. Don't just write me off. They are renowned as some of the most refined and graceful Radiants. Okay. So this is funny. They are renowned as some of the most refined and graceful Radiants. I don't know about you, but if you've read the Stormlight Archive, you know Lift is an edge dancer. Lift is anything but refined and graceful. She does not fit that description at all. I don't think. Maybe you do. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that doesn't. Thank you, Gabby. Glad you're here. Yeah, I'm excited. This is interesting. Yeah, so yeah, Lift doesn't fit that profile at all, but yeah, she's definitely a powerful ally. So and then it gives you a link. So if you want to go read more about the Edge Dancers, you can read more about it on Sanderson's website. If that order doesn't fit you or isn't quite what you expected, read more about. Okay, yep. And there's a link where you can read more about each order. So, but I think that hit me pretty well on the nose. Yeah, that fits me quite well. So it looks like that was my strongest one. And oh wow, that's kind of an interesting downward progression on that scale. So my next one would be a Truth Watcher. Windrunner would be my third. Bondsmith, Dalinar's a Bondsmith, of course. Lightweaver is Shalon. And Windrunner is Kaladin, of course. Else Caller, I think that's Yasna, right? She's an Else Caller. Dustbringers and stuff. Okay, interesting. So, well, that was a pretty cool quiz. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you want to take this quiz, as I mentioned, the link is in the description below. You can check that quiz out and take it for yourself. And I hope you tune in for future videos. If you have not read the Stormlight Archive, you are seriously missing out. If you like a really good epic fantasy, you don't mind big, chunky boys, definitely pick those books up. They are well worth your time to read. And make sure you're reading more books, folks. I will talk to you in my next video. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.